Hey everybody. So today was the very first day in second quarter class with a new teacher, mind you, that we finally got to make some sparks and start doing MIG. This is my first time ever attempting MIG, and let me tell you, I had some issues just trying to get comfortable, and I noticed something really I guess it's something I noticed in doing stick welding too, and it's certain electrode holders and certain guns. They don't seem to be made for little people's hands, and I have pretty small hands. I wear a size small glove, which isn't the easiest thing to track down. By the way, I found that out the hard way. But this is the thing that got me feeling some kind of way on a whole other level. Just trying to overcome that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, move, Salem. Kitty cat. This is the thing about doing MIG for the first time that actually had me feeling some kind of way, and it was the fact that I had to overcome that issue with being able to grip the actual gun and be able to pull the trigger and keep the trigger pulled down. And the thing that I'm noticing is similar to what was going on with the the electro holder, the stinger, um, with doing stick welding. I noticed that the wider the actual grip is for me, the more issues I have over the period of time of being comfortable. So imagine having to extend your hand out further than what you're used to extending it out, and then or trying to grip something and it's basically making your hand hurt. Um, that's what's happening with me. So when I go to grip the gun, I'm like extending my hand even further out to get the grip onto it. And when I go to pull the trigger, I'm really having an issue with the comfort of these last few fingers. Um, and so sometimes when I went to go pull the trigger down, I would have an issue where I felt the need to let off the trigger. So this is something that I've been learning to overcome. So my first impression of MIG, I like stick welding better. I'm pretty sure that's going to change over time. When I get used to it, I'll probably like them evenly. But right now, because it's fresh and I'm not perfect or really good at it, um, I have this feeling that like I had this feeling that I need to improve. I need to get better. And if you've been following me, you already know I'm pretty hard on myself in general when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm going to show you my first two runs at attempting this. And if you can tell, this part right here was empty at first, and then I just fill it up. So let's see if this might be a better way of you seeing it. It's empty like this side right here. Basically two pieces that are tacked together. Yeah. All right. And the idea is to fill it up on the side. Now, I'm going to show you the side that I had first started on, and you can see I clearly had some issues with my layering. Not sure how well you'll be able to see it, but as you can see, as I got a little bit more comfortable, it got better. My issue that I noticed that I was having, and this is the other side, you can see that I got a lot more control as time went on with me trying to do this. And I started feeling a lot more comfortable, especially with the fact that I have to say, I really like this new teacher too. And part of the reason behind this is I don't have to bite my tongue, and he actually works with you. So this first one was just dragging it, and this one is making little dimes. Not sure how well you'll be able to see it. I'll probably end up trying to do this again in better light maybe. But you can see I had a huge improvement in my bead. Hey Salem, that's not for you. You can't eat that. But you can probably see it a little bit better. The little dime shapes in this versus the other one. Really, you're not helping Salem. But you can see that I made a huge improvement in my control and the steadiness going along here. Now, the teacher was basically telling us about Mig, the story behind it, the little silly tidbit about it that MIG is not the accepted term, and it comes from metal inert gas welding, and so GMAW is is the actual accepted term, but for the most part we refer to it as MIG. And the thing about this that had me feeling kind of jittery or feeling some kind of way while doing this was the fact that, and I am laying this all at my feet, mind you, I am such a perfectionist when it comes to things. I'm very detail oriented, so I want to get things right the first time. And I know that's not something that is a thing. It comes with years of experience, tons of rod and wire burnt and blah blah blah. But that's just how I am. I'm just going to keep wanting to do my best. So I feel like this experience is going to get better from this point on because I actually said to the teacher, hey, this how important this is to me, and the fact that I really need to learn this because this is something that I've been wanting to do since I was young, and this is important. It's not some hobby for me. It's something that I like to actually make my career out of. Like, and I know that's not like the reverse of what some people do. They like doing that as they're really young and then they do that for a little bit of time and then they do something else. For me, this is something that I actually want to build an actual career out of, not some random hobby project. So the thing about this, and I probably should try to get better lighting in Salem. Okay, so to all of you, this is Salem. He's my kitty cat, who is usually the little black mark that is causing all kinds of, you can't see me because he clearly is just trying to hug up the camera. Yeah, you miss me? You miss me? But first off, I'll say my overall impression, as usual, similar to what happened with stick welding. I ended up in a situation where I had to build up my confidence. I had to overcome my own personal issues with wanting to get things exactly perfect and learn exactly how I was supposed to do what I needed to do. Now, the good of this, I have very steady hands. Now, this is something that I know for a fact I have to thank my mother for because she taught me how to knit, she taught me how to sew, and she taught me how to crochet. And all of those things require very good hand-eye coordination and using both hands. So I have a very steady hand. The other thing that I actually will say is the good in this, not just having my steady hand, the fact that I'm not very scared of things. I'm not startled very easily when it comes to me being focused on a task. So banging, other people making loud noises, grinding, all the things that would happen in the shop do not bother me at all. Like, I'm not phased by that. So I am pretty good once I get my art going, making a straight line. The only things that I've noticed that cause me a real problem, issues with my equipment, if I'm not comfortable, if I am in a situation where something is malfunctioning, if I can't set my stuff up the way that I know that I need to have it set up so it's clamped down and is in a position that it's not going to get moved or bumped, That kind of bothers me. So I'm learning some of my pet peeves when it comes to my actual booth. The cleanliness of my booth. I really have to say I felt some kind of way today because my booth, when I got to it, was dirty. It needed to be grind down on the actual pole itself. Whoever used it, like I guess the night before or whatever, left huge booger worths of, as if they accidentally were welding onto the actual pole. Um, what? And I ended up grinding off my own plate, which I have to give the teacher props for this. That we get to take our own plate that we are responsible for and locking it up in a locker so that no one else can mess with it. I have to give him props for that, and the props for the fact that we get to cut our own plate. Um, I'm feeling way more confident with actual oxyacetylene cutting. And once again, that falls back on not being scared, having a steady hand, and trying to find the best position possible. One of the things that I think has helped me the most in this situation is the guidance of my teachers. The fact that they have no problem with actually trying to help you figure out the best position possible for you to work with, because everybody is different in the ways that they learn in general. See, the thing that I'll say is really cool in this situation is the fact that you don't have to be politically correct with how you speak to the teachers in this school, which helps me a lot because despite the way that I am for the most part, I can have somewhat of a sailor's mouth. Not all the time, but I can. If something is going in a way that has really got me like, you know what, I'm tilting. I'm tilted. And if you're a gamer, you know what that means. So, another thing that I've noticed as far as the positive things in this, it's okay for me to express how I'm feeling about something that's going on that I cannot change. And I'm noticing there are a few things because of my hand size that are annoying me. And I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on here, but basically, my hands, especially this one now, because of me using it so much, gripping on things to weld, this hand cracks so much now. I have pain in this hand from overextending it. And what I mean by this, I'm not sure if you know how you grip on something like this? Imagine trying to grip it, and I don't know, you can see how my hand is right here. Imagine trying to grip a gun, but it's asking you to hold it like this even further out than what you're usually trying to grip something. So it's taking you out of your usual grip comfort zone. And so what's happening to me is I am gripping on a gun. I'm gripping on a MIG gun, and it's forcing my hand to be a little bit overextended, and it's not comfortable at all. The teacher was telling me they do make electrode holders or stingers that are smaller, which would help somebody like me, as well as guns. They make some of those smaller too. Um, the reality though, I am thankful for the fact that I am learning on equipment that is like somewhat of a standard size, because I know if I go after I graduate and work at a job site, chances are they're probably going to have something that's big like that anyway, and I'm just going to have to learn to deal with that. So that's actually is a positive. It's painful for me, but it's a positive in the sense that it's preparing me for, if I do get an environment that I can get something that I'm more comfortable with, it'll be easier for me because I've already started learning in a situation that's giving me a little bit of an issue. So if that makes sense, I feel like it's giving me a slight handicap. Um, but if I can overcome it, it'll make me a better welder. So the other thing that I have to say, which is a good thing, the teacher is pretty cool. Um, the second quarter teacher that we have is Mr. Dykes. He is a very interesting individual in the sense that the he has the experience to back up what he's saying. And that's one of the things that I have to say actually kept me on the day shift going to welding's class, because I've heard some stories. They were not good. I'm staying with the day class teachers. um, from day one of the things I'll have to say that actually led me to actually going to the North American trade schools was the fact that the teachers are so hand on. I really enjoyed the fact that if you have a question, the teachers will answer you and will walk you through something until you get it. That for me is a very important thing, not just for the fact of my education, but for my safety, considering this is something that some people don't really think about. And it's, if you go into a trade school and you're trying to learn something, there's a certain level of danger that comes with that, in the sense that you're in a building that has a list of flammable or explosive materials in it. So it would be in my best interest to have teachers and other people in the building who are very knowledgeable and experienced. That way, I don't end up dying in some type of a freak accident, because there's a list of things that could go wrong. Um, the teacher actually had us watch this video, and it's in Texas, of an acetylene plant that kind of just blew up because of a mistake, a series of unfortunate events that went down. And you can probably find it on YouTube. You just look up acetylene explosion, Texas, and you'll find it. It is very eye opening, and it is very humbling. And this is why I take safety so seriously, because I do not want to die for something that could have been prevented with a few minutes of just being diligent in doing your safety protocols. So, in class, and I'm going to go with the ugly part of this. I told you I'm very hard on myself when it comes to getting things right the first time. So imagine being someone who already is kind of irritated with the fact that they're sharing a booth with a night class person who is not clean. And I mean not clean in the sense, when you're grinding, when you're welding, when you're working in a booth like that, there's a certain amount of debris that is left in your booth. And apparently, whoever it is that's in the booth, be like night shift, when I come in, they have a tendency of leaving tanks on. They have a tendency of not sweeping up behind themselves or grinding things off, which I have to say is very unprofessional, and it's not fun for me as the person coming in a day and having to clean up after them or grind things down after them. Um, Now, this might not sound that big of a deal to some of y'all who are in the profession, but I'm just starting off. I kind of don't want to have to spend extra time cleaning up behind somebody else. I want to be there getting my hours in learning versus having to deal with somebody possibly, you know, just they get to slack off, and I'm legit trying to learn, and my learning hours are being taken away from me having to clean up behind somebody else. Yeah. Um, Another thing that is kind of the ugly with this is I am getting to see just how frustrating certain little situations can be when you are in a setting that there's a bunch of shared things going on. There's a cramped, narrow space that you gotta wait and try to get through with a bunch of people. There's a bunch of people trying to do a list of things at the same time, so there might not be. You might have to waste time on just trying to get stuff to get on with doing what you want to do. Um, the positive to that ugly is the fact that it's giving me an experience that would translate into what happens in an actual shop or on an actual work site, because that type of stuff does happen. In the past of me being a security officer as sergeant, um, I had to witness and actually do security for structural building construction sites, as well as seeing people do basic maintenance and things like that. And the level of planning that goes into that situation, even with all the planning that they do, there's a list of things that can go off or wrong with just trying to work when it's a bunch of other people. So I am thankful for that experience of learning what it's like to have to come in and deal with that kind of an issue versus like in our first quarter, I didn't really have those type of issues because we had our own booths that were assigned to us particularly. We did not have to share with anyone, and I'm thankful for the fact that our class is so small because now we all will get more time actually welding in our booths now um, on a one-on-one basis. I actually am very thankful for that. So that's another one of the goods. Um, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm probably going to end up cutting it probably in another 5 minutes or quicker. But the thing I want to say is this: I am so thankful for my teachers at this school during the day because they care. I can tell that they care. Each one of them does things in their own way, which I actually appreciate because of the fact that you get to learn things from different perspectives and different techniques. All of them align with what's being taught, but at the same time, it's a very humbling learning experience because you either get it or you don't. And I like the fact that this teacher says it like that because it's true. You either pick it up in the first couple of days or you're not going to get it at all. Also, it's pretty dirty. You can probably tell I need to clean under my nails. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. Very hands on. Uh, the other thing though, I have to actually laugh at myself a little bit with this because I was so nervous and jittery in a way that I am not used to. Um, when I first went to go try to make my very first weld, I felt like I was doing something that was so foreign to me, and this is so silly. And I think part of this was because of the fact that I've had so many people tell me, "Oh, you did stick. This should be so easy for you." Blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking maybe because my brain works the way that it does, I look at everything as a wholly individual thing that once I got into it and listened to what they were saying, I was expecting to be perfect at it, which wasn't. Trust me, I can see it takes time, but I am very thankful for the fact that the teacher actually said it's actually looking good, um, that I'm picking up on it, and I think my real problem is overcoming the issue with how I'm holding the actual gun, trying to overcome the pain coming from actually trying to hold it the way that it needs to be held and keeping my finger on the trigger throughout that experience. And I am not even going to joke with you. My right hand, since starting welding school, is bothering me in a way that I hadn't had problems with before. And I know what it's from. It's from me holding equipment that's a little bit too big for my small hands. And so, let me wrap this up. Hopefully, I haven't bored you too much with talking about how I feel about wedding class. Uh, but, oh yeah, let me show you my jacket. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it or not, but I had a little bit of fun with my jacket. This is a Lincoln Electric jacket that I decided to decorate. Probably won't be able to fully see it all that great. Maybe I'll do it in another video. But I decorated it. Put my little Sailor Moon patch on the back. Wrote some cute stuff on it. But yeah, hope everybody's doing good, staying blessed and feeling well, and I will see you all next time. We'll try to make that other video that I was talking about in regards to that stalker issue when I get better situated, and I will probably try to do some of this other parts so you can probably see what I mean by My first attempt at MIG did not go all that great for me. In my opinion, I can do better. I know I can, but I'm going to actually show this for reference. So as I do progress, it can show that I'm actually doing better over time, and I can look back on this and say, oh wow, this is the first time I did it. This is how bad that looked, and then move into how great my teacher is. Because I attribute that getting things right and stuff like that. I really do have to say the teachers are really awesome at this school. So I hope everybody's doing good, staying blessed and feeling well, and I will see you all next time. Bye. Feel free to comment below if you also weld and you have any tips and stuff for me. Leave it in the comment section. All right, see ya.